Got a quick look at a torch today that Klarus have sent in. This was actually sent in by mistake. They sent the wrong model, the XT21X Pro, but I thought I'd do a quick video anyway just to show it to you. Just go through some of the included items. We do get a good quality holster with this. You do have the cup at the bottom that prevents the switches activating by accident. Certainly better than most holsters in terms of the overall quality. Onto the torch itself, you can see the dimensions are up on the screen. Be a bit larger than your average 21700 model, although some people might like that. You do have a side switch on this model for some reason, and we have the Type-C charging port on the back. It's the 5th generation switches, I think, with the main switch, and you have the paddle switch next to that. It doesn't base or tail stand without leaning up against something though. That's one potential disadvantage. They've gone for a blackened stainless steel bezel, and you can remove that if you want. The reflector on this is moderately textured, even though it's a decent size. Got some fine knurling on the body, and it's also a sort of cross pattern, Union Jack style. Unscrew the base or tail cap so you can have a look at that. Fairly chunky spring in there, and here's the battery. Klarus branded 21700. You do have spring at the top as well, so that means to say that you can use the unprotected batteries with this. They work absolutely no problems at all, and we have that 4-stage battery level check just after you switch it on. Stays on for around about 4 or 5 seconds. Other included items are the user manual and a C2C charging cable, spare O-ring, lightning adapter and A to C adapter. There's your wrist strap, and there is an 18650 adapter. That just increases the size a bit so that the cell doesn't move around inside the tubing. Onto the UI, we have the standard tactical mode first of all, so that gives you your turbo with the main switch and the strobe with the paddle switch. Then you can just use the paddle to cycle through the power levels. If you want to switch the modes, you want to hold the paddle switch and the side switch in until it starts flashing green and red. Then just hit the main switch quickly. Once you're in the outdoor mode, the strange part about this is, unlike most Klarus models, the main switch has a mode memory, not the turbo. With the side switch, they've also put a memory on that for some reason. Just a bit strange. I think most people would prefer to have the main switch with the turbo. You do have a lockout for that side switch. The other switches will work with that lockout. I suppose the only advantage with the side switch is it does give you access to both strobe modes. But personally, I think for a tactical style torch, you probably don't really need that side switch. It sort of complicates things a little bit in terms of the operation. I have put the user manual on screen. I believe Klarus did change this. A few people did note that there were some issues with the original release of this with the user manual. Charging speeds are quite good with this. They're just under the 2 amps. I've seen it go up to about 1.9 amps. You get a similar output with the power bank function as well. That's quite a useful feature to have. Quick size comparison with the 2CR Pro. Obviously, that is much more of an EDC type model. Smaller, more compact and lighter, but using the 18650 batteries. And I've just quickly put that chart up on screen for you. You can see with the 18650s, you're down to around about 1200 lumens. Just to show you the beam profile on the jet beam, which is more of a mixed pattern. Once we go onto the Klarus, you can see it does have a hotspot, but it's a big hotspot. It doesn't really have a big range on this torch for the power level that you get. In turbo, you get around about 336 meters distance. It's not as floody as the G15 version 2 that I looked at. That was only about 200 meters at the turbo. But it isn't a high focus beam on this. It's more of a spread out general purpose one. Have a look through some more of the beam shots, and I'll give you a couple of my thoughts at the end of the video. For a tactical torch, I do prefer to have a bit more focus with the beam, but you might find this to be a pretty good beam profile for general purpose use. I do agree with a few people that have mentioned that the side switch isn't really needed on a model like this. I'm okay with the size myself. It's not a small torch, but then that's not necessarily a problem. You do get a decent bundle with this and that power bank functionality. If you've used one of these, you've got any thoughts, do drop a comment down below. I'd be interested to hear that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.